Will reading for 50 hours actually make me smarter? Does reading even make you any smarter at all? Let's find out. Dr. Seuss once said this. I know, right? Pretty amazing, huh? He's basically saying if you read more, you're more smart. And I wanted to see if that was true, so I'm going to be reading 5 hours a day for the next 10 days in the hope that I get a little bit smarter, and maybe I'll go more places. Like maybe outside.
Yeah, that's never happening.
Oh yeah? Watch me. Alright, so I found this general knowledge quiz on BuzzFeed, and I'm going to use it to determine my current level of smartness. I'm also going to take another quiz after the 50 hours to see if I get any smarter. This test may have been one of the hardest tests I've ever taken. I struggled through questions about geography, history, art, famous people, and even questions about The Simpsons for some reason. And in the end, I kind of failed. Yeah, I did about as good as I did on the last year of biology tests, so hopefully I do a little better on the next one. Over the next 10 days, I spent 50 hours reading things like Reddit posts, online articles, tutorials about how to get better at video games, all the signs on every street in my area. I even read the backs of all the food items in my house because I ran out of things to read.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
And a whole lot more to see if I got any smarter. Alright, for the first hour, I'm going to be reading this really epic storybook. You guys might have heard of it. It's called the Bible. I decided that I'm going to read the Bible for the first hour every day and see how far I get by the end, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, for the first hour, I got from Genesis 1:1 all the way to the start of Genesis chapter 23. Alexa, set timer for 2 hours. For hours 2 and 3, I read this book called Pachinko. I got it in an Asian bookstore. Check out my video for that. And I read about 100 pages, which is really fun. And if you can see, I was also eating while reading. But anyways, let's go to hour 4. Hormones in the endocrine system. Interesting. So yeah, for the next hour, I just read my old biology textbook, which actually wasn't as boring as I thought it would be. Honestly, I don't really remember what I read, but hopefully it made me smarter. Also, I'm gonna start putting a stopwatch next to me so it's easier to track the hours. Alright, we have finally finished reading. It's been an entire hour. For the last hour of the first day, I wanted to read more of Pachinko, so that's what I did. It's honestly a really good book. I might do a review about it too. But yeah, that concludes the first day. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's go, we're done. Day 2, I started off with reading the Bible again, and today I got from the beginning of Genesis chapter 23 all the way to the beginning of Genesis chapter 35. During hour 7, I scrolled through the Today I Learned subreddit, because Reddit is such a fun and wholesome place. But yeah, anyways, there was actually a lot of interesting stuff on there. During hour 8, I found this Williams Sonoma cookbook called Grilling that I read because I knew it would immediately turn me into Gordon Ramsay. Also, I found a recipe that actually looks scrumptious that I want to make. Hour 9, I was thinking about the country I live in, and of course I started thinking about guns. So I pulled up a 98-page firearms manual so I could become a real American, and now I can pretty much use any rifle with no problem. For hour 10, I went back to Reddit and I read through the r/Ask Reddit, where I saw people's questions, some of which were very interesting. And that concludes day number 2. Day 3, I woke up from my hour of Bible reading, and now I'm at the beginning of Genesis chapter 49. Hour 12, I read a massive Google Doc with the words "I like hamburgers" on it, inspired by the cookbook I read, and now I really want a hamburger. I like hamburgers, 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 I hate hamburgers. During hours 13 and 14, I went back to the cookbooks. Wait, that's not me. During hours 13 and 14, I went back to the cookbooks because I was really feeling chef-like, and I definitely needed more recipes. And I actually finished the grilling book and was able to graduate to the fish book, which means now I can become the Gordon Ramsay of fish. And I got about halfway through the fish book wanting a grilled salmon. Let's go to the last hour of the day. Hour 15, I tried reading through all of my old emails, and I got through about 260 emails. Also, before the hour was up, I had to sleep, so that's why I switches from night to day. The first hour of day 4, I did my Bible reading again, and this time I finished Genesis and I made it all the way to the beginning of Exodus 25. During hour 17, I got out my old Pokemon binder and read every single card and looked up the prices for every one, and unfortunately it turns out I don't have very good cards. During hour 18, I went back to my emails and I finished reading another 200 emails, so now I have like 400 left. For hour 19, I found a magazine about sleep and sleep medicine which looked incredibly intriguing, so I read that. I finished off the day by reading an online article about pancreatic cancer for an hour. Also, I know these long hours might be getting repetitive, so let's speedrun the next 10 hours. Hour 21, I woke up and read the Bible. Hour 22, I read the Pocket Medical Dictionary. Hour 23, I started reading Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Hour 24, I read the list of every movie ever made. Hour 25, I read the list of every book published in the last 10 years. Hour 26, I woke up and read the Bible. Hour 27, I read 28 articles on CNN.com. Hour 28, I read 32 articles on NBC News. Hours 29 and 30, I read the Pachinko book. On day 7, I woke up and read the Bible and... Now this is boring, let's speedrun it a bit more. Hour 32, I read a long PDF about chemistry. Hour 33, I read a list of the top 1,000 actors in the US. Hour 34, I read stories from an AI generator. Hour 35, I read through my old text messages. After I woke up on day 8 and finished my Bible reading, which by the way, I'm now at Leviticus 23, I just read Pachinko for the last 4 hours of reading, and I actually finished the book too. If I didn't mention it before, it's a really good book too. After my daily hour of Bible reading was up, for hour 42 I read a PDF about an introduction to programming. Then for hour 43, I went and read a ton of different websites online about how to get better at Valorant, because I'm kinda trash at the game. So let's do a quick side quest to see if it actually works.
Like butter, baby. Down and up.
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
For hour 44, in the spirit of gaming, I went online and read a bunch of stuff about how to get better at Fortnite. Unfortunately, no epic side quest this time. And for hour 45, I just read my old emails again. Yeah, that's it. Alright, it's officially the last day of the challenge, so let's make it interesting. After I completed my very last hour of Bible reading, which I ended on Numbers 15, I decided that now was a good time to go outside and read all the signs of all the surrounding streets in my area. It was also a pleasant 97 degrees outside at the time, with an excessive heat warning, which probably should have stopped me, but of course, I did it anyways. As I was walking, I saw signs for streets, and trash cans, and humps of speed, and even this creepy beware of dog sign, and by the time I got home, I think I sweat about 10 pounds off. For hour 48, I did something I probably should have done before starting this challenge, and I went to see what the internet thought about if reading makes you smarter, and apparently it does, so if I don't get smarter, then, well, I guess there's no hope for me. And in the second to last hour, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I took out as much food as I could from the kitchen, laid it on the table, and read every word I could find on it. Now I know all about the nutritional values and that sort of stuff. For the very last hour of the challenge, instead of reading, I wanted to write something. So I pulled up a blank Google Doc and named it Last Hour Writing Thingy. So creative, am I right? This was sort of a reflection of the last 10 days of reading and what I was thinking during the whole time and what I took away from it. I'll put the Google Doc down in the description if anybody actually wants to read what I wrote. I thought this would be a proper way to end the challenge, and As the very last timer went off, I knew what it was time for. As I sat down to take the test, I knew this was it. Everything I had read in the last 50 hours, all of the books and the magazines, all of the online articles and websites came down to this. I either got smarter or I didn't. The test was hard, but I did my best, and I ended up with a 68%! Let's go! Yippee!
What the dog doing?
So yeah, Dr. Seuss is right, and now I'm officially smarter than I was 10 days ago. Cue the victory music. In celebration, I decided to go on a nice relaxing walk outside, but that's when I saw this strange sign.
Press to forget.
And I didn't know what it meant, so I pressed it.